There's a sequel to the movie Wizard of Oz. It's terrifying and yet made for children. Also, you scratch a little bit deeper, and somehow it's kind of loosely about the Russian Revolution. All that and more tonight on American Loser.
Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
On the edge they take the throne, built on bones of those unknown. Coming first, never last, still erased from the past. I am an American loser. No one remembers my name. No legacy and no future. One step behind in the game.
All right, folks, what is going on? It's another episode of American Loser here at Gas Digital. My name's KP Burke, folks. And first of all, welcome back to the show. If you're a Loser devotee and you're here every week with us, it means a lot. If you're part of the Gas Digital audience, I'm sorry that I'm not able to sell you some sort of a herbal enhancement substance that typically is found at gas stations, but we're happy regardless, folks, okay? Again, if you're first time on the show, it's a weird one, but they're all kind of weird ones. This is what we do here. We put the spotlight firmly on second place, and I'm bringing you weird stories from American history every single week. With me, of course, first of all, Dom is our sound engineer, and we love him to death. Dom, who is, honest to God, he was deported because we kept changing his ethnicity every single week. We wanted him as a plug-in DEI hire, and they sent him back to a multitude of countries. So until his passport issues are cleared up, I want to say thank you to my man, Jorge, stepping up, being Employee of the Month, in my opinion, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
Always, dude. Nothing but love for the Jorge. And of course, our executive producer, the reason I'm here, the guy who came up with the idea for me to take my entire hour-long show and turn it into 90 seconds so people will actually watch it, Michael Harrington, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I just got on the phone with Dom. He's in Chad right now.
Chad?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that Chad is both a white lacrosse douche and a country in Africa? I thought that was interesting. But
Checks out.
it's... let me introduce my guests before, because you guys are both awesome. We were having fun beforehand here. Two very near and dear to my heart guests on this one. Okay, my dear friend Lauren Leroux. Very
love
funny.
you.
Love you back, girl. You're a hilarious chick too. You're always doing weird stuff. And when I told you guys this topic, you guys both jumped at it, which means a lot to me. My other guest too, by the way. My great buddy Boris Khaykin is here. Right?
Real name.
It's 100%. Right.
Whatever,
We've been trying to give you a
Boris.
stage name for because by the way, I consider you one of my good friends, and I still get nervous saying your last name.
Yeah, you didn't pronounce it correctly.
No, so hit me.
Hiking, like you're going hiking. It's
Hiking.
a silent K.
I hear you.
Boris
That's-
Khaykin where?
Ah.
So
You ever get
here's the
that?
thing. Hard K's are funny though. Hard K, that's the comedy sound.
Oh yeah, especially
So,
if you pronounce it a particular way.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is Gas Digital here. We're a very progressive network. It's
What's the guy that your name sounds like? Lyndon Leroux. You know who I'm talking about?
I don't
You've never
know
heard
this
of the
person.
Leroux?
I'm sorry.
I think it's Lyndon Leroux. It was like a political movement. You still see guys in front of like desks sometimes. It's like a whole political party that's
Really?
like very conspiracy. This should be right up your alley.
So-
Lyndon LaRouge. It might be LaRouge.
LaRouge.
Google it later. There's
This is worth a Google.
you'll go on a wormhole with this one for
I
sure.
like this one, man.
Yeah,
Also,
neither of those are my name.
I've been calling
But it's
her.
close. But it's close.
I've been calling her
Very
Lauren
close.
Leroy for about a year. So
Yeah,
I just found
that's
out
fine.
that
That's
you don't.
suited. Yeah.
It's an X, not a Y. I'm finding that as I go. But you guys are great on this one. This is a weird episode. Again, if you're audio listeners, appreciate you guys. We're going to make sure that it's an enjoyable product for you. That being said, we're talking about a movie, and these guys both watched the movie because they're pros. Okay, it's a terrifying movie. I saw it as a kid once, and it's one of those things where I had a pretty happy childhood, so I don't repress things. But when I was watching this again,
That you know of.
yeah, it's true, 100% true. But it's one of those things where then you're like, oh, I think I did see that, and then I remember being quite upset by it for a while. And then I watched it as an adult, and I'm like, it was probably just scary for me as a kid. And I was like, I won't lie, I got a little nervous watching this movie.
It's creepy.
Yeah, the first 30 to 40 minutes, I was saying earlier, I thought I got very high before the movie. But those first, I don't know if the weed wore off or the movie wore off, but like those first 30 to 40 minutes, I thought were excellent. I was like, this is actually like, I like the tone. It's kind of like because you can take any children's movie, and the whole premise of like, I feel like half of the movies in this era is like, is this kid crazy? The adults don't believe him. No, this fantasy world is real. You know, that's the Wizard of, that's like all of them.
100%.
Right.
And so like, I don't know, I'd heard of the concept of the movie, but I hadn't seen like a sincere like, oh, actually the kid is crazy. And, like, I thought they were gonna like lobotomize her by the end of the movie, you know?
Well, it's first of all, just to establish everything, folks. It's we're talking about the movie Return to Oz, okay, which is a horrifying sequel to The Wizard of Oz. The whole world of Oz, I did not realize how well guarded that is, mostly by middle-aged white women. Okay, it's just what it is. That's kind of their thing. That's their
Scooter guys.
scooter guys.
I love scooter guys. Were my favorite part. I'm a huge fan of the scooter guys. The
Oh, the wheel.
The wheelers, they're called, right?
Yeah.
They're terrifying. There's some like legit jump scares in here, and Boris isn't employing hyperbole here, folks. They start off the movie by attempting to give Dorothy, who is now also significantly younger than when Judy Garland played her in the movie.
That's why when you're saying it's a sequel, you're really making me freak out because I don't agree.
You don't think you think it's its own thing?
Even if they say that it's a sequel, why? How is it a sequel? How does
Like,
it come after?
Directly as a plot
She's
point.
younger. No, but like none of the details really make that much sense.
You know, that part's weird. And also what I thought it was interesting was like she is both younger, but they also have like the camera framed a lot of times, and the setting will be like really large to make her almost look like a toddler.
Oh,
I was gonna say even
say
smaller.
like mature, like
That's
also
funny.
Smaller.
I got the
I
very
think they did
opposite.
both. Yeah, I would say they played with a lot. They
Because
took
she barely
liberties.
speaks sometimes too.
Right.
Like
well, it's her
she's
first
very-
role. That actress, that's her first role in a movie.
And she went from that to the girlfriend in
Veru-
Waterboy, which
Yep.
is very great
Veruza Balk.
progress.
Yep, Vicky Valancourt, we're talking about you.
She's so pretty. Oh my god.
The Craft as well. She became, I think this movie, I wondered, like, when you see how she's able to channel that darkness, because American History X, she's the hot goth girlfriend in The Waterboy, like you said,
Right.
and then also The Crowd. I wonder how much of that she channeled from, like, oh yeah, my first movie, Disney I had to pretend I was getting electroshock therapy, and then just in a room full of beheaded women.
Wouldn't
for a while.
fly with Disney today. I don't think it would have been made
I don't know.
today.
I think it's too accurate to their actual practices behind closed doors.
Too on the nose. But back then, it was also very common, I feel like, to make these kind of creepy ass children's movies. Like,
True.
Like The Labyrinth had creepy, and there was that other one that came in the DVD box set with The Labyrinth, The Dark Crystal or something like that.
that with all puppets and people hanging out together.
Yeah, and they're all like kind of creepy.
which
you
is
know?
fine.
Well, Muppets were really, when you look at it, that was the honest path. That was like, okay, we can trust this. And then
It was before
any other-
furries took off.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
And they
so
really
true.
Made Muppets by association a
Our
little less
poor-
Maybe
trustworthy.
Our
even
poor
the
sound
cause of furries.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder on that one. But what's trippy too, you said not a sequel. That is interesting to me because it's definitely a sequel.
It's interesting to me
Why
how
is she
wrong you
younger?
are.
Why is she younger?
But here's what freaks me out. She is younger in the movie, which is trippy.
Like
They
Wet Hot
actually
American
say-
Summer. Remember, they're supposed to be
They just-
younger, but they're way older. It's
It's at most a parallel like take on it. Like I don't understand how you could. What's the definition of a sequel? It came after the
think-
first
I think it
movie
fits it.
chronologically.
They say,
Then how is Dorothy younger? How is Dorothy half her age?
here's what's weird. It comes from the books. That's what I knew. That's the only reason that I hung
And
up
people
on that.
said in the Wikipedia page that it's like true, very true to the book, apparently.
Yeah, so
Then how true was the first one?
oh no, that was
Less
I'll tell you
true,
what
apparently.
happened.
Okay,
I
that
think
tracks.
The Wizard of Oz was the happy book that they all read. That was the happiest version of the story. But I remember reading that book as a kid in 3rd and 4th grade, and it was a little darker than I thought it was going to be.
For
The author
sure.
got molested between writing the first and second book. And
Yeah, and then
Things
just got
really
a little
took a
darker.
turn.
Went to war.
Well, it's crazy because it's you look at it, and I remember seeing this movie as a kid, and it frightened me, and then I see it again as an adult, and I'm like, this is still a little intense for that, but. Also, keep in mind, back then, stories written for children were often terrifying. So, if you ever read the real story of the Little Mermaid, it'll break your heart into
Oh,
pieces.
100%. Yeah. They were a
So
lot
Disney's
more
great.
mature.
They're like, yeah, we need a Jamaican, crab to show up, please, and then like obviously a fat cuck, flounder to hang out and just hang out and kind of keep things going in a good way. But yeah, Disney magic is when they take these terrible stories and make them palatable and fun, where we think fondly of them.
Right.
When really it was all about just like, yeah, you're going to die, but here's somebody who died before you.
Right.
know, it gets creepy.
You are right in terms of how Disney like takes on stories, and that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
That we got to spin it for a modern audience.
So we can agree that it's not. It is it's the right sequel to the wrong first movie.
So it's actually an amalgamate. Good disclaimer.
There should have been a different first movie, but it's definitely the chronological sequel.
It's and people are going to be mad about this episode no matter what. I had that reel that took off about where we talked about the theory that The Wizard of Oz is loosely about the gold standard, which is not my own theory. This one I actually gave my own theory because if I'm going to catch hate from people, I will actually want to earn it as
I'm
opposed to
excited
just
to
repeat someone
explore
else's
it.
stuff.
About getting off of the gold standard?
So it was actually the theory held that it was them going the gold standard because the big argument at the time was bimetallism, and it was whether we went with free silver, which was William Jennings Bryan, or if we went with the gold standard, which was being championed by all the major captains in industry, Rockefeller, Carnegie, all them, and their hand-picked candidate who was McKinley. So it's interesting because McKinley is like this boring governor from Ohio, and they're like, well, we're going to run him for office. They outspent William Jennings Bryan 4-1 in that campaign. It's the first time you saw like major interest. Like the idea of kingmakers was real.
Wow.
So Carnegie, Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, all sitting in a room smoking cigars, and they say, who are we running for president? And they wind up getting McKinley because he's going to run with the gold standard, which is what they wanted. William Jennings Bryan, kind of a Bernie Sanders vibe to him a little bit, but also kind of a man of the people thing. He's championing free silver. And so then they find this book. They thought this was interesting, that The Wizard of Oz, it's the gold is the only way to go. The yellow brick road represents gold. That's how you get everybody back to M City. So it's gold currency. Gets you to greenbacks, which is Emerald City, right? So everything's based off of precious metals and everything. And then the Scarecrow's supposed to be representing the farmers can enjoy this road too. Tin Man's supposed to be industry. People can come in here too.
Wow. Okay.
And then
This makes.
And then the Cowardly
make
Lion is William Jennings Bryan, who is a free silver guy. And they're like, yeah, he acts tough, but he's really a pussy. That's
Interesting.
so that's how they did it. Now that's not my own theory, but then people are swearing to me up and down. They're like, "There's no way The Wizard of Oz is actually anything political. It's just a movie for kids, and
That's
it's
what
a
I would
musical."
guess. They're just fitting their own kind of thing on top of it.
But I
Yeah.
will say, which is probably true, but like I will say that upon reflecting about The Wizard of Oz, you do kind of think about like this is such a unique story. Like it is a hero's journey for sure. It's like a
100%.
template, but like the characters are just like so like why do we have a cowardly lion? And I know that they represent all the different things and the themes, but it's just a very just like people aren't that creative and cool anymore. I don't know.
It's a hit for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. It's
By the
one
way,
of my
holds
favorite
up
movies.
that the my stepkids watched this movie and liked it. So this
Wizard
movie's
of
from-
Oz.
Yeah, they
Returned?
watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I was trying to make them watch Birth of a Nation. They wouldn't do it. But no, it's great. They love the movie and they were glued to it the whole time. So it's got staying power. It's a
Oh,
classic.
100%.
I was curious
Beautiful.
because you've seen it recently what the animations look on, because the one thing that took me out, because again, like 30 40 minutes in, I was like, I liked how it was framed. I thought like it walked this uncanny valley between like matching the original Wizard of Oz in terms of like the way the music comes in for transitions and stuff. But then what took me out of it was when they would cut to a wide and it was just like a super fake drawing that like really juxtaposed with a lot of the because a lot of the indoor stuff was that room with like the mirrors where the headless princess was or whatever was really cool, like visually, like the set design
it's
was cool.
terrifying.
But then again, every time they pan out, it's just like goofy, blurry drawing again.
So it was just like a budget thing, maybe?
Well, I don't know, because the original Wizard of Oz, I feel like just leaned into it more and was more obviously animated. If I might be remembering wrong, but where it didn't take me out of it because it felt intentional. Whereas this feels like they're trying to like pull off now that it's 1985. They can
yeah.
sort of make it look as if it's
Good
real.
point, by the
but
way. We
it's
haven't even
not.
said what year the movie comes out. So this sequel from the 1932? 1932 is in my
Something like
head.
that, yeah.
So Wizard of Oz comes out the same year. Casablanca and Citizen Kane come out. So that's three of the
Big
all-time
year.
greatest movies ever.
Wow.
All within the very short proximity to one another.
Wow.
So then you're going to make a sequel to one of the greatest movies ever made in 1985, and you're going to be more. You're going to go away from the movie lore and try to make your own thing. And it's scary. It's a little bit trippy over here. But I'm watching this movie now after and this reel went crazy. This was a couple. What was it, Harrington? Like 3-something million people watched this one.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we had a hit on our hands, and it was crazy because now, like, Mariska Hargitay started following Hilaria Ball. Like, Oz is important
Welcome,
to
Mariska.
women. You know it, so say hi to her if you want to.
Hi, hello. I'm now speaking directly to Mariska Hargitay. Wow. I have nothing to say. I'm so nervous. You can
Dun
keep going.
dun. But it's trippy because I gotta, as the history guy where I ruin a lot of conversations, and I don't try to do it, but I just, sometimes I can't
That's what you
unsee
love.
something.
Yeah.
Well, it's a passion, and then I grew up without a PlayStation, so this is what I filled that void
Good.
with. This was the movie is semi-nightmare fuel. It's by the way, to give Lauren some credit here, it's an unofficial sequel. They won't.
Oh, we're just going to keep that the whole time.
There's
Let
some
me get
beef going
fired
on.
up.
Wait, what does that
Whatever,
mean that it's
dude.
an unofficial sequel?
I think it's it plays within because they do give L. Frank Baum a writing credit, but because what they do is they take people forget Wizard of Oz was a book in a series of books. He wrote a ton of books about the Land of Oz, and they took two of the later stories and combined them to make this script.
Oh.
So it's very
I didn't
weird.
know that. How many books are in the series?
I think I wrote it down here later on, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to
Okay.
establish just a timeline so that people don't think, don't get me wrong, this is a 6 milligram Alp nicotine pouch in my mouth, so I'm on
Presuming, dude.
another planet.
Yay.
But Harrington, I feel like you're about to chime in, brother.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nothing. I have the number here, but you said you have it.
Oh, hit me. No, give me what's the number?
So there's 40 official books, but only the first 14 were written by Baum himself.
Yeah, because
Whoa.
it's probably a family legacy thing. Like, we can just, we need I really want a patio. Let's see what the Tin Man's up to.
Like
Wow.
when they took
That's
over after
crazy.
Ian Fleming.
That's
James
so
Bond?
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
James Bond, but with Oz. What'd you say name? Crow. Scarecrow.
Wait, I wonder, that would be fun to read. That would be a good book club to
James
read
Bond and the
all
Land
of
of Oz.
those. Yeah, right. Wow.
It's just him.
800 movies.
At some point, Sean Connery's going to have to bang one of the little people. That's just going to have
Deep
to happen.
Roy.
If you bring
Sometimes you gotta hit him.
Oh, man.
a land of odd jobs, you say. But after rewatching this movie, there's way too many hints and kind of wink at the camera type moments. And I looked more into the Oz universe. I was very unaware of how truly huge that fan base still is. Obviously, Wicked is always in the news for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It scares me a couple parts of the movie, and this is again 1985. But I couldn't help but notice there's a few historical influences and certainly coincidences. So I'll take the full blame on this. Boris and Lauren are free of any blame on this one. You guys want to hate me for ruining this movie for you or
I
ruining
can
your
take
beloved
my own
Oz?
blame.
Ruining Return to Oz?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good
I'll hurt
enough
you
movie
if
for
I
anyone to
wanna.
hold you responsible for ruining it.
We say that, and then we're going to go outside, and there's just going to be like two girls dressed up as Fairuza Balk from The Craft, just waiting with switchblades to come after me. So
I invite it.
it's a.
I will make you mad.
Why is it that Return to Oz sounds a lot like the fall of Tsarist Russia?
Does it?
I'll explain.
Please do.
I hope I can follow this because I'm dumb.
So here's the thing: I'm also dumb, but this is just all I do is connect dots. This is a maze for me, so we're good. I'm going to get you through this, folks. This isn't a fly-by-night episode here. I called in two of my good friends, and we're going to have fun with this one. The timeline is trippy. L. Frank Baum will die in 1919. He wrote The Marvelous Land of Oz in 1904.
The fall was 1917?
And we're buddy, you're all over this. Boris, by the way, do you want to explain your ethnic background?
Yeah,
Because-
but I mean, it's not like I have any type of deep knowledge of
no,
Tsars.
but because I do believe
I'm from Ukraine originally.
100%.
So I have some familiarity with it, but I don't have, a history degree in it or anything like that.
buddy, I don't either, and there's a lot of schools that are reminding me of that. They're on the regular, like, yo, you didn't go here. Don't
We've got
ever
some
tell-
fact checks on your
but
podcast.
I have a cease and desist from Brookdale Community College. Can you please stop saying that we helped? So, by the way, Tsar Nicholas II and his family are murdered in 1919. Boris was right on that one. But the books that were written, so
I thought 1917, so I was actually wrong, but go on.
So he's 1919 is when the murder goes down. By the way, the fall is probably 17 because they keep him alive for a little while here.
Okay.
So Lauren, here's how I'm gonna, and I'm not.
Do you
patronizing.
have like
you, I
dolls or something we can use?
swear. Anastasia,
or like
you seen the movie?
Yes.
Girl, I got you.
Okay.
We're getting into that now.
He's so good at this. Wow.
L. Frank Baum dies in 1919, but he had written Marvelous Land of Oz in 1904 and Ozma of Oz in 1907. Those two books become the script for Return to Oz, which won't come out until 1985. Has it all make sense? Maybe it doesn't. But I do take Ambien a lot, folks, and sometimes this is a weird side effect. I just see the world in Matrix code. We've connected some dots.
It all comes down to Russia eventually.
It's
Right, Boris?
They are. Colin Quinn has the greatest joke about that, where he goes, the only people that ever played history right was Russia, because they just go, hey, so we're the asshole. Yeah. We're just going to be the asshole. Yes. And it's Colin Quinn. So how do I
love him.
Can't prove
Good
he's
job,
not,
Colin.
I feel like he's my biological father. I haven't quite.
I feel like I've heard that from other people before.
So interestingly enough, first of all, some of this stuff in 1985 was weird for its own time, but then for us watching in 2025, it's even weirder for us because how do you really, you're combining these two weird books that were written from a long time. There's nightmare fuel in there. There's electroshock therapy. There's terrifying creatures that Lauren found endearing called wheelers that are essentially 90s skateboarder demon people. With it's very
spirit
creepy.
animals,
But they're not quite skateboarder because they have like male pattern baldness past where I am.
People I've ever seen. In
like
my
that
life.
one that they're like that he's like holding and interrogating. Like he looks like a 45-year-old computer programmer that like lost his way.
I have a DUI, so I have to rollerblade to work every day.
That's just how he commutes.
It's green. It's green energy. What are you going to do about it?
I can't wait to get to those guys. Let's get to those guys.
So there's also I'm not kidding, an AI soldier. Okay, so AI is in this movie.
Yeah.
Not. Go on.
And his name is TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Also worth noting that this movie is the first on-screen appearance of Fairuza Balk, who does a great job in the movie. It's crazy. You look at her, it's the same thing you were saying about Labyrinth, where it's like, I was probably of an appropriate age to think Jennifer Connelly was hot when I was watching it. And then I was just like, I wonder how hot she's going to get. And then you're like, oh, that hot. Okay. Understood. Wild. Back to Tsarist Russia. I'm tying it all in here, I swear, folks. Prior to the events of World War I, Tsarist Russia is having some problems. Financial instability, political concerns, and quality of life made people eager for change. The final Tsar of Russia is Tsar Nicholas Romanov II. He and his entire family get murdered by the Bolsheviks in 1918. The autocratic reign of the Tsars was over and gets replaced by the Soviet Union. Right? 1980s are high tide times for the Cold War. Many historians say the true fall of the USSR was on Christmas Day in 1991, when Mikhail Gorbachev resigned and the hammer and sickle flag of the CCP was lowered for the final time over the Kremlin. So the Reagan 80s had us paying attention to the Soviet Union big time, and it was showing itself more and more in movies. Growing up, I just turned 38 last week, and but growing up,
happy birthday!
Thank you, girl. I'll never forget.
Never ever forget. Wait, is your birthday 9/11?
Yes, it is. So born on 9/11, adopted, Navy veteran, gay sister. I can't figure myself out either.
Beautiful.
Lauren. I'm trying.
Perfect. Perfect.
But it's worth mentioning that growing up as a kid, the Russians were the bad guys in everything.
Of course.
I felt like that was... But there was also this weird thing, I've talked about it with Harrington too. They did want American men to desire Russian women. I don't know what it was. In cartoons, they always made...
It's easy to do do
It's not... Yeah, there's something going on over there. It's,
but
right? I always felt like it was
Yeah.
Comics. What was it? Comics, cartoons for kids, movies. There was always this thing about like hot Russian chicks.
Yeah.
I think part of it is also like a femme fatale, like a honeypot type of deal.
Yeah,
Oh,
secret
100%.
agent kind of.
Yeah, my oldest stepson is, he doesn't know it yet, but his dream is to be killed by Black Widow. That's his dream.
Awesome.
He doesn't know how she's going to do
Same
it.
girl.
Smothered.
That was my GoldenEye Xenia Onatopp moment. That was, that one, it's really a boy reference. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You are one of the boys, but
Not really.
You weren't going to be deep on GoldenEye.
No, I don't know about the
Boris.
gold and the whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
It's GoldenEye is a James Bond movie. Had a huge video game about it. So was that a big?
Was that N64?
N64. That was the game that if you had it, everybody came to your house. You were instantly
What
popular.
did you do?
So it's James Bond. So you're just running around.
It's a first-person
shooting each
shooter.
other.
Oh,
I wasn't
okay.
huge on video games, but like it was huge. You couldn't avoid
I keep
it.
forgetting you're successful. I apologize. Yeah. Boris is a responsible and successful adult who also happens to be very funny, folks.
Nice
played
job,
video- oh,
Boris.
I played video games up until like college, and then around college is when I kind of just stopped.
I just started playing Madden for the first time, and I love it very much.
Oh, so current Madden, or are you playing?
I have to
current-
say,
the
I
new-
quite enjoy
The
it.
new, I will even say that I love it a lot. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's going to start off cute like this, and then Lauren's going to just like walk in. We'll be watching, actual football, and she's like, "Ridiculous, Tampa 2? What the fuck are they trying to pull right now?" Come on,
I
just-
like football.
What are we doing in pass
I just
protection?
never really played video games like in a way where I was like, I can't wait to get home and play video games kind of way. And now I'm like, the weather in real life is just like the weather in the game. It blows my mind, dude. People
How
are
did the
injured
Jews
in
do
real life and in the
that?
game. I just think it's so cool. Good job, Madden. Good job, Mariska Hargitay, Madden. Who else? Good job. Oh yeah, you,
Boris
for
Boris
being
is doing very
responsible.
well.
Yeah.
Well, L. Frank Baum had written 2 books that became Return to Oz years before the death of the Romanovs. But when you start to see the source material of his books, and then you combine it with the imagery of the 1985 movie, again, sorry, audio listeners, I'll try to put some of these up on
I'll
Facebook
describe
and
the
everything.
images in great
Well, it's because it's
detail.
creepy. When I show you guys this theory I have, I don't think it's that hard of a sell.
Sure.
Right? It's not as easy of a sell as being like, hey, do you want to bang Russian chicks? Or, I mean, I get it. Lauren was the one who volunteered that too for us. But she's like, yeah, come on. Why wouldn't
I'm
you?
already there.
Well, you're going to start to be able to see first of all, there's a never-ending mystery around the Russian Revolution. There's a lot of mythology that goes into it. You add in a creepy-looking guy like Rasputin and everything,
There's stuff about like them sending Lenin on a train from Germany, right?
Yeah, there's that too. Then, of course, we'll get to it in a second too. But of course, the Disney movie Anastasia or Anastasia, however you want to say it, right?
Anastasia, yeah.
It's I'm from Jersey. It's just going to come out that way sometimes.
Anastasia.
I can't. I found a New Jersey accent word too. When I say nervous, that people it gives it away. My sweet simple country boy exterior is betrayed by Passaic County.
You ain't in Florida anymore.
No, girl, no. But you can start to see this theory. Maybe it was my years of heavy drinking or some undercooked bacon that made me connect these dots, but I have it here, folks. In this movie, which again is not Baum's direct work, Dorothy returns to Oz after narrowly avoiding Auntie M voluntarily having her electrically lobotomized.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that being the opening to a children's movie?
I actually wasn't sure if she avoided it. As soon as it started continuing, like 20 minutes in, I was like, is this what's happening in her mind while they electrocute?
That's what I
You're
thought
giving her
too.
full David Lynch
Yeah.
then. You're
That's
like, this is Lost
what
Highway.
I thought. Yeah, I thought at one point she was gonna wake up like with her brain
It was a
melted,
dream.
basically.
Yeah.
Dude, if you go full David Lynch on this and you just have like a little, you have
But not lobotomized. I guess like electroshock.
yeah, if you had a munchkin that walks up to you and just starts speaking backwards in like a room like Twin Peaks style, that would
Yeah.
be pretty sweet. This would be we could probably make a movie of our
I mean,
own
this
out of
was
one.
that's
we
where this
should.
was going. Like 20, 30 minutes in,
It's.
Yeah.
it would have been great if it leaned in and just doubled down in that direction.
I think the ending is more horrifying than the beginning, which is crazy because I agree with you. I was into the movie at first. I was like,
Yeah.
maybe now I'm an adult and I'm supposed to watch this, and then no way, man. And I do have some visual evidence here for you, folks. For me, this started to parallel the fall of Tsarist Russia because Dorothy arrives and she finds that the Emerald City is in total decay. The ruler of Oz, who in the book she puts the Scarecrow in charge of Oz. That's the thing there. I saw a great meme the other day, and it was Dorothy walking up to all of them at the end. She goes, "And Scarecrow, I'll miss you most of all." And then Tin Man's like, "I guess I'll go fuck myself." But yeah, Scarecrow's in charge, but he's gone and missing. So all the characters you love are not in this movie. Dorothy's the only one that's a holdover from the original. So you're waiting for what you think is going to be, I don't know, your friends? I don't know what to even call them, but the iconic characters.
Right, they made a new entourage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
New Entourage is a good one, or when it's a different version. It's like you're in Mighty Ducks 3 territory where you're like, oh, it's really everyone's just a coach now.
All different ducks.
Same attitude, different ducks. But So she wants to get. She's terrified because she sees what Oz is looking like now that it's fallen here. Harrington, do you have a photo of the fall of Oz or Emerald City? I think it's labeled. By the way, shout out Carly doing the graphic design nonsense here for me.
So
on this
what's the
one.
parallel in your theory in terms of this fallen Emerald City?
So here is this is what it's looking like over here when she arrives, and she was like, "Okay, stuff's gone bad." There's obviously some graffiti for the Wheelers over there. She's got
Love those guys.
it's a kingdom in decline. So things have gone south over here. Some massive changes come through.
Seems
Perhaps
that
a
way.
revolution. That's
None of them horses with the pink horses and stuff.
nope. A horse of a different color.
Oh,
So-
right, yeah.
Oh, I see. So you see this as post-Bolsheviks.
I think, yeah, while she was gone, I think some stuff went down, and I can tie more in on that one, man. I very rarely say my theory is right, but I think there's something to this. The fact that this movie came out in the Reagan 80s, I think they're like, oh, yeah, and there's undertones about the evils of the Soviet Union.
With hindsight of the 80s, it makes sense. Because in like 1919, like most people didn't have the foresight to see where it was going at the time.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
right.
We were scared shitless of the Red Revolution and everything because obviously we were feeling parallels of that. And then immediately you get distracted by the mustachioed fellow in Germany about a decade later. Then he
Right.
started getting real noticed. But for me, this is where the parallels started. The capital of the Russian Empire was St. Petersburg. The Bolsheviks will later move the capital to Moscow. St. Petersburg, by the way, houses the Winter Palace. It's an extraordinary piece of architecture and history. Also something I would like to see in person one day. There is the Winter Palace, folks.
That does look kind of like that room.
So Boris already knows where I'm going on this one.
The
Also,
headroom?
could you not see
Yeah,
Cinderella
the
walking out here?
Mirrored room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
100%.
of
Cinderella.
course.
That could be where Cinderella's ball is. But anyway, and I'm specifically saying Cinderella because it just has a Disney. That you see that in a royalty thing comes out. So that's the Winter Palace over there. Gorgeous place. Of course, the official that was the official residence of the imperial family, which was, of course, the Romanovs. In the 1985 film, Dorothy meets up with her AI soldier, TikTok. I mean,
Rascal.
couldn't have predicted that one.
Though it was kind of interesting that he like explicitly said at one point, like, "I am not alive," because he wouldn't die in the deadly desert or whatever.
Oh, that's a good point.
But it was
too.
interesting that he made this distinction almost in a way that has modern hindsight. Also, like these AIs, it's a fancy Google. You know, they're not.
Ooh, Boris, you're getting
They
deeper
ain't
than
all
me on
that.
this one,
Yeah,
brother.
there you go. I'll
Yeah.
jump on board.
Sure.
I'll play your game, KP.
Oh, finally. All right. Well, my understanding is Hilaria Baldwin has entered the chat, so we'll see what TikTok, by the way, loyal servant to the Scarecrow, not an app for girls to shake their asses on yet. Yeah, sorry. That's don't act like you
He
wouldn't
might
have been
beg
a
to
wheeler.
differ.
Opposite thing.
Lauren, you would have been a wheeler back then. You would have been chilling out.
Of course, I would have been a
rollerblade.
wheeler. I would have been the best one. I would have been in charge of the wheelers.
Hitting the skate park.
Absolutely. Where else would I
100%.
be?
I would love
My
to see
hands
those
and feet
guys.
are wheels. Literally, where else would I be?
It's well, they're terrifying because they show up, they start attacking Dorothy and chasing her around through the fallen Emerald City, which, by the way,
Is
it looks-
perfect for grinding and doing ollies and
absolutely.
doing
The
cool
The core
skate shit.
strength too. You got to imagine they're all ripped under there.
If we
That's a
could have
great
just,
point.
I hope it comes back because that one joke, just the obvious joke of the hardest part of rollerblading is telling your parents you're gay. It did sink an entire hobby of mine. Where it was like, I heard that and I was just like, we're giving these away. All right, I
man.
don't
If
know.
only
yet.
you were more secure, you could have gone pro.
You gotta be
I was 11.
confident in your
Everyone's like, you don't
wheels.
find out till later in life, and I was like, what if they're making me gay?
No, you got to get those wheels back. Actually,
I think it's time. The and don't worry, I have no thoughts other than the pure terror of when I saw these the wheelers, the inline roller derby demons, if you will.
you have a picture of those guys?
Harrington, I don't think it's in that actual packet. Could you pull up the wheelers from Return to Oz? I apologize, buddy. Harrington earning his money and then some, which is hilarious because
Thank you, Harrington
he's the best.
and Mariska
So-
Hargitay and Carly and Boris.
Well, eventually, so those are the wheelers.
Yes,
They're creepy. I think what it was, I don't know if they actually exist in the book. It would make sense to me, but I thought it was like maybe they were trying to do like a cool 80s rad version of the Flying Monkeys.
It worked.
Yes, it did.
That's
seem like
how.
that.
Yeah, the
That's how you
monkeys.
read it?
That's how I read it as the monkeys. Yeah.
Totally.
It's well, they were terrifying. There's a couple legit like jump scares when they first show up, and then the ominous music playing.
Such a good idea.
It's almost like the tone of Clockwork Orange.
Oh, buddy, that one's
I've
there.
never seen that.
No, I didn't even put that one together.
Which is also, has themes that relate to like dystopian posts.
10,000%.
Yeah.
Creepiest movie, by the way. Love it. Shout out Stanley Kubrick. I know you watched the show.
Thank you, Stanley
Not
Kubrick.
really dead. Yeah, they are a crystal meth nightmare, if nothing else, folks. That's what I like to say of them. So, damn Disney on that one.
they're
But it gets creepier and in a hurry. Dorothy will get to a woman named Mombi's palace. She's known to be evil, but I think Dorothy thinks that she can. I'll just work with evil. You can visit. I'm a visiting dignitary. I'm from Kansas. Everybody's nice there. Mombi is in charge of the fallen Emerald City. And I'm going to pause here for a while because I didn't put any of my fever dream together until I noticed just how similar. Harrington, if you could pull up Mombi's palace and then go back to the Romanovs' Winter Palace.
Right.
That is
Yeah.
Mombi's palace right there. That's where she lives. That's Mombi right in there. She's creepy and terrifying. And then if we could bring up the Winter Palace again,
Yeah.
it's there.
Oh, yeah.
So I that's when I started to notice this because it's gorgeous, and you would think that they would show that in the original Wizard of Oz if it was a thing. But this is in M City. And by the way, the funniest part is that the reason why Emerald City looks like shit is because all of the riches have been stolen from the land. So another thing we're going to get into in a second. Turns out that, first of all, if that's not trippy enough here, that the two things kind of look alike, there is a spirit of some sort in the palace. And this spirit shows up every now and then, helps Dorothy. I think we would agree, gets her out of the electroshock therapy. She can show up in the real world. And then when she's in Oz, she's popping up here and there. But she shows up as like a specter. And there's this weird scene where Mombi goes, no one even asks about you anymore. No one knows who you are. And that is my theory that is, I'll get into it in a second here. But when Mombi sees the spirit, she comments, no one even remembers who you are. Why are you still here? But she haunts the palace over there. More on that in a second.
Is that the Mensheviks?
That's Well, it turns out that Mombi is just the boss villain of Emerald City and a bit of a butcher. She has, Lauren, what did she have a collection of?
Heads.
This is a Disney movie, folks, for children, with children actors.
I thought the funniest part was that she took off a really pretty head in favor of a less pretty head, in my opinion.
If you could change your head, I mean, there's...
I would never.
I would just want to know
Why
what it's
would
like
I?
to not carry 35 pounds of head on my shoulders every day. That's
Oh, I would love to take it off,
that's
but I wouldn't give my head for anything.
No, it's so it's terrifying. There we go. All right, Harrington, you are money today, brother. So yes, this is again a children's movie. There is a young Fairuza Balk, and these are all. It looks like beheaded women, and they kept. They look like well kept women, like they're of maybe the aristocracy or the
Very curly.
royalty. Yeah, so it's a bunch of severed heads, and this chick Mombi can just place a new head on whenever she wants to. Just this is my going out hair, that kind of a thing. But
Is that like a regime change?
I just thought that it was
idea?
the wiping out of people that you're showcasing that all these people have died. Because how can you, if you're only alive when
Oh yeah,
Mombi
they were
puts your-
based on like they were real women. She didn't just like invent the heads.
No,
she
it's
like
terrifying.
killed people.
No, she said there were
and-
headless people dancing outside, but then they got their heads back. Remember at the end?
So there is a
was at
happy
least
ending.
6 of them or something. They
Yeah,
got
there's
their
a certain amount of a happy ending here. It's also just deeply unsettling when you when
They should have done a B cut of like just the janitor late at night with all those heads. Old horny janitor.
just waiting for the clock to strike 10. Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, pucker up.
Now, are you going more into the Buck from Kill Bill type fashion, or are you going into it's just Matt Damon solving problem? He goes, how many heads are on this wall? And like Matt Damon can just guess how many heads are up there. We got a wicked smart janitor here in Oz, man. He's
No,
gonna
I
be
was more along the lines of Kill Bill for sure.
Kill Bill. So you're going Buck who likes to fuck.
Hell yeah.
It's terrifying. By the way, any light that we're making of this movie is not as upsetting as the movie itself, folks. Again, 1985 children's movie.
I love how like concerned you are over of all the things to offend people about these days.
because that's the one I got the most angry messages about. Of all the things I taught, I was like,
Wizard
hey,
of Oz?
yeah, I
but
proved.
there's no way people like this movie as much as Wizard of Oz.
No, but just the Wizard of Oz reel, and then learning. Like, I can't tell you how many times they tagged Oz blog and stuff like that, wanting the official blog of the Oz fans to comment back at me.
Whoa.
So it's pretty trippy.
And
That's just
Mariska
popularity.
Hargitay.
That's
It's-
what comes with having a hit, you know.
Yeah, it's. I hoped on that one, but we had a massive uptick for this reel when it came out. It was great, and people were just going in on the comments. And they don't know that, by the way, guys. If you don't, I don't want to give away secrets, but if you argue in the comment section, the post gets seen more. So thank you.
The game.
Now, if I could just get you guys to care about the fact that I confirmed that the CIA had a gun that shoots heart attacks, we could get somewhere, and I could get my message across, folks.
I thought they only had a cancer one.
Anyway, back to the Wheelers.
I thought it was headaches. I thought it was just very bad
Yes,
headaches.
yes, it's headaches. Correct. They shoot Carly with one every night around 7:30. Well, I don't even have a road gig this weekend. But this is where it gets trippier, and it's just going to keep getting trippier, folks. And if you disagree with my theory, you're probably right. Okay, it's just my theory. I thought if I'm getting enough hate for the stuff I said about the gold standard, I should at least have my own theory to get hated for. Mombi is just the boss villain of Emerald City. She does have a collection of heads. Joseph Stalin, the eventual leader of the Soviet Union, he had plenty of heads of his own, too. He's got that great quote. You'll probably know the quote the second I say it.
Statistic?
Oh, dude, it's the creepiest quote ever. What's it? I'm going to butcher it, pun intended. But what is it? The death of one is a tragedy. The death of a million is just a
Something like
statistic.
that, yeah.
Yeah. So they can't quite figure it out. Stalin was so good at hiding this stuff. It was possibly up to 20 million bodies
Whoa.
that they just eliminated people from Russia. Because like, yeah, you don't really fit the new thing we're doing here.
Well, because a lot of it was just sending him to Siberia, so like you wouldn't really know who survived and who didn't.
Oh God, man, it's there's a reason why. And by the way, my favorite account on all of Instagram is Look at This Russian. But there's a reason why these people drink so hard and play with bears every day.
Oh yeah,
All right, there's not much else to
Different
do out in
type of-
Siberia.
afraid
Bye-bye.
of flying. Also,
Are they really?
You know the summit between Stalin and I'm blanking now. Stalin, the World War II summit was in Turkey.
Oh, but boom! I think
Talking about
Harrington's on.
Xi the ping, the Chinese celebration last week or 2 weeks ago, where
Huh?
Stalin and Mahdi and
I think he's
all those
talking
guys
about
came.
the Yalta summit.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Yalta was
Chinese
that was the big three,
celebration
right?
didn't
Or-
invite me.
Harrington, you were too smart for your own good on that one, buddy.
Invite me to the Chinese celebration.
no, it was the one between Churchill and Stalin.
And FDR.
Yeah, wasn't it in Turkey? I think it was in Turkey. It was somewhere where it was specifically accessible by train because Stalin wouldn't fly.
Which is crazy, too. We have shown a young photo of Joseph Stalin on the show before, and let's just say
Was it
a
good?
lot of people would be swiping right. He was a handsome boy, all right? Grew up to be a little bit of a creepier-looking old man, and obviously, the whole murdering 20 million people is a little
People
bit
be
rough.
swiping
Not
right,
ideal.
bro.
I was going to say, they just checked his height. Oh, I think Harrington's got it.
it was in Tehran actually.
Tehran. Even crazier, man. And then also people that were there on the American embassy. Loose Reception folks were tied into the spy rings, the communist spy rings that Whitaker Chambers exposed. Boom. It all ties in.
Wow.
The details are there. You just have to look for them. So,
Do the rest of the pod like that.
Then you got to sell the herbal pills again.
I was going to say I got to sell supplements
Easy.
after that. So, but if that's not trippy enough, this is where it gets crazy. So obviously there's a little bit of a Stalin thing in there, and then here's where it gets crazy. As if it isn't already crazy, folks. Turns out Dorothy's real enemy, the person responsible for taking over Oz, is a guy known as the Gnome King. Initial thoughts when you guys saw the Gnome King. And Harrington, I think we have a photo of him whenever you get a chance to pull him up, please.
This is the guy that wore the slippers at one point. Yeah. Jewish conspiracy, kind of happy merchant.
all
A little bit of a happy merchant vibe there.
dude.
Perhaps. If someone's going to say it, perhaps
It's all there.
Boris, who happens to be Jewish, is the
Yeah.
one volunteering this, folks. All right, this isn't me.
there's a little.
I know I have militia
Okay, yeah.
face, but
And they, of course, said at one point that the Jews were the Jews in some ways were behind some of the Bolshevik revolution in terms of financing and stuff like that.
Producing.
oh, is
Well,
that
they
too?
also there was a whole effort at one point in prior to Stalin's death, which was then blamed on Jewish doctors also and started a bunch of pogroms. But prior to that, they used to go and collect money to favor the Soviets in America from American Jews and stuff.
which is
They
crazy.
actually, here's a fun fact that
wait.
almost nobody will know, is there is a second Jewish country, technically, in the world that most people don't know about, that's
New
not
York
Israel.
City.
There's an actual Jewish autonomous zone in far, far eastern Russia. It still exists. There's
The
probably
jazz?
yeah. I believe it's called actually the Jewish Autonomous Oblast.
I'm going. Start spreading
Yeah.
the news.
Well, there's very few Jews
Start
left there.
telling the Jews.
But it was an alternative to Zionism because at the time, once they realized that Israel was flipping from like communist to pro-American, that eventually the Soviets wanted to provide an alternative, and they would use this as an advertisement to raise money from American Jews by
dude,
saying
that
that they were
rules.
building an independent Jewish state.
This is all right. That's
Learning
true.
is.
They were never more than I think
treat.
like maybe a couple, like 10,000 or 20,000 Jews in this area, but they would send them over
like
there.
the Austin,
Dude.
Texas of Jews.
Yeah, basically.
Wow. That's
The misplaced
incredible.
peoples of Europe, as I've heard them referred to, right?
And they have a flag, I believe, that looks kind of like the gay pride flag.
Dude, that's
Exactly.
even all right. So now I
We
know what
got
I'm going
'em,
to be reading
folks.
about later. 'Cause
Yeah.
I had no clue. Did you?
No. What?
Most people have never heard
I don't
of
know
this. Yeah.
anything.
Boris, your money, dude. You really are.
That's amazing. Wait.
Is that it? Is that the Jewish Autonomous Oblast flag? That's a,
That is
Yep.
a Billabong logo.
Billabongowitz is
Yeah.
actually what it's called over
I
there.
feel like it's about to tell us the more you know, that kind of a thing at the end there. Just need a star. You put,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
the Star of David landing on that, it says, the more you know, there's a Jewish autonomous zone.
Wow. That's really I'm like impressed with the minimalism. It's really gorgeous.
of the flag?
Yeah, it was nice.
Sometimes simple is better. Well, you really, in terms of minimalism and flags, it's just Japan. You know what I mean? They're just like, what about a little red dot right there? That's it. That's what men go to war for over there. They say,
Obsessed.
when I see these stripes don't run, but when I see that dot,
Till the last man.
dude, that was awesome. By the way, thank you. It's probably more interesting than the shit I'm about to say on this episode.
Just a little nugget.
No, we're learning. I'm learning so much.
Well, the Gnome King's a trippy guy. Lauren, what was your take on him? Because Boris just tattooed a couple right out of the gate here.
Blue guy.
He's
Just a
creepy
blue
looking,
guy,
right?
yeah.
Harrington, will you pull him up again just for
Now
a
I
second?
know he's
'Cause
Jewish. That's
I have
great.
seen.
Jewish presenting. But those slippers on him also at the end.
Right. Let's just.
Right.
There are spoiler alert if you're going to watch this movie and be caught up in its whimsy, then we'll ruin this for you. But don't.
Yeah,
watch
he gets
this
a little gay at the
Looks
end there.
cold.
He's
to
actually
me.
wearing her stolen slippers. That apparently in the book, what they say is that when Dorothy's leaving Oz, her ruby slippers fall down. They can't make the trip with her, and then they land in the Gnome King, and then he's able to actually take over all of Oz because of that. So
power of the slippers.
Dorothy now feels bad. She's like, "Oh shit, this is my fault."
And those are the originals. What makes it a sequel is those are the original slippers from the original movie.
Right, because in the book they're silver.
I believe it was like a major budget thing.
Well, they
was
wanted to
reading.
show off in the original one with Judy Garland. They wanted to show off the power of Technicolor, so they went ruby slippers instead of tin slippers. So that was their way of kind of working around that one. Don't worry, we'll get
Tin
hate mail about that
slippers.
one.
Imagine
Yeah, you make a lot of noise when you walk. You know what I mean?
ruby slippers.
So here's the trippy part. The one responsible for taking over Oz is this Gnome King, who will argue that he took all the jewels from Emerald City because they belonged to him in the first place. This idea of property and the Gnome King's idea, he goes, "How can I haven't stolen anything? I'm just returning it where it belongs."
Right, it's the people's.
Kind of struck me a little funny, Boris.
Right.
I'm starting to
That
notice
tracks
this one.
to me.
You give him a long beard and a very creepy voice and appearance. And again, damn, Disney. I noticed two possible pieces that could fall into this theory of mine. First of all, it is funny to see that man with, the blue guy with the beard and everything, and then he just pulls up his skirt for a second, his little man dress he has, and he's wearing the slippers. I actually have seen people say, like, oh, yes, if you really look into the works of Oz, it's very LGBTQ friendly. I mean, these were the first trans-presenting characters in books, and you're like, all right, I don't know if that was
Is that
what
true?
he was doing.
There's no way that's
I
true.
don't think
Because,
anyone had that in mind.
Because
Yeah.
I'm a straight guy. I'm pretty secure in my identity and my gender. But if you told me that I could wear ruby slippers that would make me wildly powerful, my stage name would be Ruby Slippers Burke, I think.
Yeah.
I would just run with it. All right.
But it
Dude.
did look a little gay when he busted out the slippers.
10,000%. This is 80.
Which
That's
is
where a
fine.
missed
Which is
casting
fine.
opportunity for Tim Curry.
Boris.
The fall of Tsarist Russia kind of begins with the arrival of a wizard, right? Rasputin, folks. Not joking. This time he isn't a magician that arrives on an accident via a balloon. This wizard or holy man or demon, depending on what circles you're in, is Rasputin, who will con his way into the Tsar's inner circle using magic, miracles. By the way, softest set of eyes I've ever seen on a man.
Smells very bad.
Would have been a great wheeler.
Yeah, doesn't he just look like he's about to tell you the specials tonight at some place in Williamsburg?
He's got a head hole.
We have a charcuterie board, and you can go bowling in between courses.
Is a head hole.
Can you zoom in on the eyes at all here, Doc?
And he didn't shower at all, from what I
Go
understand.
up to the head hole.
Lauren, well, look into his eyes for a second, Lauren.
Yeah.
And
Didn't he have a long penis?
Apparently he had a hog on him.
Or cool, like a healing penis of sorts.
That's what they said.
We like to think, I believe it was, I'm trying to remember which, I guess it was Lionel Richie that he had the power of the dong as healing. That was sexual healing.
That's so
is what I was
cool.
referring to.
Guys are so lucky.
I believe Rasputin was the one who started saying, "My cum has negative calories."
It's
good
semen
for your
retention was being
skin.
practiced by Rasputin.
Yeah.
So this one's trippy here. So Rasputin, interesting guy. He deserves his own episode too. My father is funny this way. My father's one of.
I'm sorry, go
Hit
ahead.
me. What do you got?
I was
You're
going to say
excited.
I have a Rasputin theory.
What's your Rasputin theory? Hit
Pete
me.
Davidson is the new Rasputin.
Talk it out, girl. What do you got?
Oh, no, I don't want to hijack the thought. We can do it in the Rasputin podcast.
It's right on. So it's this is quality move right here. So she has set me up for a fascinating theory of which I'm going to try to solve in my head right now, while also making sure she comes back for another episode. All right,
Think
Boris.
about it.
I know you thought you were ahead in points by bringing us the Jewish Autonomous Zone, but you're not, buddy. You're not. Okay. Lauren now has a movie idea in my head where Kate Beckinsale is the Duchess of.
That exactly. Imagine all the women in one movie. Oh my God.
Just now put Rasputin as he is, but just give him Pete Davidson's. Well, I don't know. I guess we could what if
Go on the ferry or something.
What if my dick could heal you? Are your kids hemophiliacs? That's so crazy.
Oh man.
I was reading the internet the other day. Well, I figured out I can do Pete Davidson right here on the air, folks.
Pretty good.
But Rasputin's a wild dude. He it's the eyes. It's all in the eyes. They say that the magic of his eyes is there. His advice and abuse of power will help lead to the downfall of Tsar Nicholas and his family. But there's another bearded fella, Boris, with some weird ideas about property and collectivism.
You're going back to Marx.
That I saw some comparisons to. Boris has been ahead of me every step of the way, folks. More good quality polls for guests here on. First of all, that's the best part about being on Gas Digital too. I actually have a studio to bring you guys to. I always wanted to bring you guys onto the old show, which was, I loved Shared Universe. They were great. They were in Eatontown, New Jersey. Sometimes the building was condemned. Sometimes it wasn't. I don't know if anyone knew we were there.
Wow.
But the best part of Gas Digital is I get to work with Harrington. I got my boy Jorge just working his ass off over there. Really, buddy, thank you for sitting in here.
Yay,
We're going to
guys.
get Dom's things. He's got a couple. I don't know if it was an ICE detention or...
I thought you were joking, and I was smiling, thinking that you were like making fun of this guy, and then I was like, "Oh my God, I think you're serious." You
No,
keep-
chances are Dom is dead. Let's just be honest, folks, okay? Let's move on. Let's prepare for a post-Dom world. If he comes back to us, then that's great, okay?
That's terrible.
We love you, Dom.
You've subbed Dom.
Wow.
There is a place called Dom Subs somewhere in New Jersey, which implies the existence of a Subs Doms.
There you go.
Very appetizing.
By the way, Gas Digital is amazing too. The entire back catalog of the show is available. Use promo code LOSER for $1 off a month, folks. All right, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. I am going to start to wrap this bad boy up because these folks have lives. They don't need to hear me talk about the Wizard of Oz anymore. But this is
no,
what
we can keep it going as long as you want.
Well,
This is my life.
Well, so what's the Marx the property or
So, Harrington, do you have a photo of Karl Marx we can bring up?
who does the Gnome King live off of? Is what I want to know.
So that's
Who's subsidizing his existence to make this
Powerful
parallel
man.
function?
so. I see a bearded man over here.
Who is the Engels to the Gnome King?
Well, dude, that's the other great joke too with the Engels Marx thing. Another great Colin Quinn joke. I don't mean to just quote him all the time, but
go for it.
He's important to me. It was the great idea between Engels and Marx. He goes, I have this idea where everything belongs to everybody. No one actually takes credit for anything. What do you think, Engels? He goes, all right, what are we going to call it? He goes, how about Marxism? But I see that weird bearded guy. And it starts making me think of the Gnome King here because he's this political philosopher with big ideas on materialism and the idea of ownership. Spoiler alert, the Gnome King will get defeated by a... Lauren, how did you feel about the penultimate moment, if you will, in this movie when the Gnome King is finally defeated?
I have to be so honest with you. I fell asleep in like the last couple minutes of.
Let me tell you, girl, you missed
Please tell me.
nothing at all. Nothing. Literally,
Nothing?
You probably are happier having not
What
seen
did I
any of
not
it.
miss?
You missed. You missed basically a Trojan pumpkin, is what you missed.
Oh.
Yes, the boy
guy.
pumpkin, and then the magic bed that comes to life that's made of some sort of a moose, and then there's a chicken that is a talking chicken that Dorothy brought with her from Oz.
That I
lays
yeah.
an egg into the Gnome King's mouth.
Finally.
Oh right, and he is
She wouldn't
allergic.
do eggs in the beginning of the movie. She was looking through the grass. She was like, "Where's your egg?"
That was Chekhov's chicken. Yeah.
That's Chekhov's chicken.
KP, we figured it out.
Chekhov's chicken just made me laugh hard, dude. That is
But they brought it out
Boris.
in like a real, like, I get that they were like, oh, we're gonna set this up by saying she doesn't lay eggs in the beginning, but they didn't set up in any way why he would be allergic to eggs, or like it was just
Not
kind of like
at
a
all.
random,
not at all. That's even crazier.
like what if eggs made him more
crazy.
powerful? Like that was just an arbitrary kind of Deus Ex
Of
Machina there.
course.
Oh,
To be
Hell.
fair, there was no setup for the Wicked Witch being allergic to water either. Like that is Oz-like to have
That just happened.
a
There was
Deus
nothing
Ex
Great call.
Machina.
So true.
Touche.
Unless, is it like a thing that witches melt? Is that a thing?
It was,
or is that the first time that ever happened?
So there was another interesting meme I saw that said, "Are you a?" It's when Dorothy meets Glinda, the Good Witch, and she goes, "Oh, I'm Glinda, the Good Witch." She goes, "Oh no, witches are old and ugly," and she goes, "No, just the evil ones." Now, are you a good witch or a bad witch? Are you calling me ugly?
Right.
You
I
just
can't
dunk on
tell,
me?
bitch. You tell me.
Glinda is the most. I do love that they played with that she's the most passive aggressive character I've seen in
Yeah,
a movie.
they got to
Oh
do
my God,
Queer Eye for the bad
incredible.
witch, and then turn him into a
I
good
kind
witch.
of found her to be a Vidkun Quisling of Norway, if you will. We're like, the Nazis aren't really all that bad, folks. We're just working with them. There's some deals. They have ideas. They have ideas.
I love that bitch. Widest dress in the game.
Oh, it was. It's perfect casting too for Ariana Grande, where she just doesn't know how awful she's being. But,
Oh God, yeah, she did.
oh
so
my
well.
God! Oh my God! That just tied in fucking Pete Davidson again. Goddamn Lord!
See?
All right,
It's all right.
Is
in
this
front of
Wicked,
you.
the reference you're making?
the Wicked reference
Yeah.
is in there. So
Haven't seen it, but I hear good things.
it's that's so
It's so
crazy how you
good.
guys just can like go into songs and there's monkeys. I mean, this is wild. I'm just gonna have sex with Kate Beckinsale again, I guess.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
The spoiler alert: he does die from the egg. The Gnome King dies from having an egg laid in his mouth. And no point do they warn you about this. Harrington's right. They don't warn you about the water and the Wicked Witch of the West. But after this person is defeated, the Gnome King is defeated, and you get rid of him, all of a sudden the entire kingdom of Oz, specifically the Emerald City, is restored to happiness. So
Wow.
who should be the new ruler of Oz? So that one's kind of interesting.
Probably me.
First of all, what did you guys think as the end was good? Because by the way, in the end of the movie, you do see Scarecrow pops up for a second.
Right.
There's something similar to the Tin Man, but I could never figure it out. And then there is a Cowardly Lion that shows up, but he doesn't really do anything. So it's weird that you
Because
finally bring.
you saw them turn to stone, though.
Yes.
Right.
So you're like seeing them presumably unstoned.
It's
From before.
it really wasn't.
But right, they just didn't have the same visuals.
Well, the final scene is where, in the confrontation with the Gnome King, is she makes you pick out. Oh, here we go. Yep, that's the final. That's the gang all back together.
Jesus Christ.
So there's a creepy,
C-3PO,
yeah, terrible looking,
a big dog.
They really did make him look more like it's just a.
They
Giant,
went
he's
for
a
the
bear.
Jim Henson looking thing with this
Yeah.
one for sure. Well, because there was also the original Tin Man. Didn't that guy like die from the paint or something?
Wow, I think you're right. Yeah.
There's a rumor that the snow used in that one scene was pure asbestos. I can't prove that one, but that's
That feels like a bit much.
Only one way to
does.
find
It's,
out.
I've worked with a little bit of asbestos, so if I wind up the same way the Tin Man went, then I did my thing. That's
I'll death bird you.
that.
Got you.
That is how I find out all my news, folks, too. I'm going to let these guys do plugs in a second. But,
course.
yeah. Gnome King reminds me of either Rasputin or Karl Marx, both also tied into this thing here. Who should be the new ruler of Oz? If you remember when Mombi who the villain, the real villain of the movie, if you will, she states that nobody even remembers the spirit who helped Dorothy, but that is actually where we're going to enter into the character known as Ozma. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that weird girl from the beginning that helps Dorothy avoid electroshock.
Right.
Right, which was sort of like supposed to be almost like her, like a parallel of her, right? Because she saw her in
is
the
she
mirror.
there? Is she real? That's the one. You're
Right,
wondering
right.
about?
Wait, wasn't there a whole thing about how she splits in two so that she can live a life in Oz and live a life at home?
I thought she was literally behind her because when she turned around, she was there. Or was that just a hallucination?
I don't think they were consistent with like the logic of the metaphor.
Gotcha.
No,
okay,
it's
fair enough.
It's trippy too because apparently this is where the LGBTQ community jumps in heavy on this one.
Finally.
Ozma is in the first book is a boy, and the boy is trying to figure out. Oh yeah, we're looking for this missing princess of Oz or whatever. And then halfway through the book finds out that the boy was actually Ozma the whole time and just didn't remember. So you'd think you'd figure it out every time you go to use the bathroom and you're just like, oh shit, different plumbing. But
Yeah, it's a little weak. It's a
but
little weak.
for 1907, that was probably, they might be
Probably
right. That might
on
be the
track,
first time.
yeah.
Did you guys remember this one too? I don't mean to get too off topic, but doxing.
Love it.
Do you guys remember the
Big fan.
Lauren will be providing her
No. Tried to doc. Actually, that's the first thing you tried to do. You tried to give me my full name, my legal name.
I'm not giving your legal name
just
away.
Kidding. I'm
It's-
kidding. I'm
you're
totally
off the
kidding.
hook, girl. But I do, just if you're going to plug, some sort of stuff, I want you to plug stuff that's appropriate because there are people right now. You're my friend, and I look after you. Okay, I do look after you. I want my friends to always feel safe on the show. There's people Googling your feet right now. I can't help it. There's people doing it.
Wait, really?
More than likely. So
That's great.
When this one comes out in the comment section, I will
Are they
screenshot
Googling
them
my
for you.
feet, KP?
That's they already have them. That's the. She's going.
No need to Google, folks. These dogs are for sale.
Woman's just
hit
throwing
me.
money away.
Hit me up. No, I had a foot guy for a really long time. Shout out, foot guy. He's definitely watching. We've been friends for like 7 years, but he only paid for my feet for like 2.5 years. And then he said he had no more money. And now we're just kind of boys.
So you're like the Julia Roberts, Pretty Woman of.
Exactly.
That's nice of you to
I'm
stick by.
exactly like Julia Roberts when I do this.
That's nice that he ran out of money and you still continue ruining his family.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's like my favorite one, probably 10% of my favorite part of my life.
How old is this person? And do
I
I
have
know him?
no idea.
We don't know. So
I don't know.
anyway, we have his identity here, folks. Ken Krantz.
Yeah.
Come on out, Ken.
Ken Krantz, buddy. Come on in. Ken Krantz, comedian from New Jersey, also known as Lauren's foot guy.
I know that I've never seen his eyes, but I've seen his face and like skin. He's like probably in his 40s, but
What do you mean? Have you never seen his eyes?
he's put blindfolds on so that I couldn't identify.
Is this
him.
someone you've met in person?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Just he found me through another
Yes,
one of my friends.
Lauren
who does
sells
feet
photos of her
stuff.
feet to the neighbor from Tool Time.
I wish.
Hey there, Lauren. Any real quick? Any chance I could get a couple of pictures of your feet, real quick?
Nah,
It's
not like
but
that.
Then also doesn't have a bottom like foot.
You guys, you wish.
I'm sorry, Lauren. We put you on the spot on that one.
No, I think I did it. but-
The,
yeah. I think I advertised it.
glory
I think I
hole's way
plugged
too
it a little
low.
early. Yeah.
back to Ozma for a second.
Oh, word. No, sorry.
No, you're golden, girl. The Ozma is. It turns out when they got to figure out who's going to be the real ruler of Oz here. People are saying they want Dorothy to be the ruler, right? But she has to go back to Kansas because she still loves her aunt, even though her aunt tried to have her electroshock therapy out of her fucking mind. So, that being said, who should be the new ruler? Well, enter Ozma, the lost and forgotten but rightful princess of Oz. So here we go again, one more time, Boris, one more time. A long-lost princess returning to her home years after her disappearance. Sounds a little bit to me like the mystery and legend of Grand Duchess Anastasia. Harrington, I think we have a photo for that one here. So that is, I believe that's a real photo of her.
Whoa.
She has
Wow, I've
so
never
much
seen that.
so much mythology built up around her. A lot of it based off the Disney movie. I think American Horror Story tried to play it that she was a witch, but she didn't have her powers ready, and she was trying to save her family.
Brutal.
But yes, the idea of I think it's one of those things where the tragedy is so abhorrent that you try to uninvent the tragedy. So you're like, in your mind, you're like, okay, well, I heard Anastasia actually escaped and she's going to be okay and everything's going to be fine. And this communism thing is just a passing phase and we're going to be fine. They're not going to build some sort of giant wall and we're not going to fight with a cowboy, the former actor.
Sure.
We're definitely not. We're not going to be hiding underneath our children's school desks just hoping everything's going to be okay. It's going to work out.
Yeah.
Metallica isn't going to come here and just jam out forever. But yeah, so the Anastasia thing is very interesting because the Romanovs were murdered in 1918 in brutal fashion. Most people believe, and most scientists agree, they did downplay this. We go by the Liberty Valance principle on the show, which is if you have to choose between the fact and the legend, print the legend. So I like a legend, but unfortunately, Anastasia has been the youngest daughter of Tsar Nicholas. It is confirmed she was executed alongside her family.
Wow.
So, but the
Rip,
fairy
girl.
tales.
Love you.
Well, there were also possibly like people faking it,
There was a lot of con artists claiming to be her.
Right.
That was the other one.
which I feel like
that's
probably
cool.
prior to modern times was probably like a very common con artist thing. You know, you hear
It's
a family lost a child or whatever, you're around the same age, and it's like, I could see people doing that all the time.
My
Wow.
favorite one
So true.
for a good con was there were more people that showed up at the survivors of the Titanic event
Than were on the
than were
Titanic.
actually on the Titanic. So like, oh yeah, by the way, nobody died. In fact, we had 5 people we forgot about. So anyway, how are you guys?
A lot of stowaways.
Wow.
What have you been up to? What have you been up to? Nothing
That's
crazy.
So funny.
Yeah, it was pretty trippy on that one. And then but they do wind up putting Ozma back into power in Oz, so that's why Dorothy's able to then still visit Oz, but then is able to go back to Kansas because she still loves her aunt. Because I thought Auntie M was you look
Dime.
back on it and you're like, Auntie M is giving the dog away because we just don't want her to sue us, that kind of a thing. So like, I'm sorry, I know we don't talk about your parents ever, so I know I'm just your aunt, but I'm just going to get rid of your dog, which is probably the only innocent thing in your childhood because we don't want to be bothered by the neighbor anymore in the first one. And then in this one, she goes, hey, so all those nightmares you've had from that time that you ran away to go after your dog that I gave away, we're going to cure that via electroshock therapy.
Really loud headphones.
Oh,
I feel like that's what it wasn't even electric shock there. It was just like, check out these cans. And they were just like,
yeah, she's the JBL commercial from the very beginning.
Yeah,
Dolby Digital sound just blowing her back.
Do you know it was made in 85, but what year was it supposed to be set in?
So I couldn't quite figure that one out.
That's
I'm
an
gonna
incredible
say,
question.
it is great. So I'm going to say that it was probably of the time. So it would have been early 1900s.
So they didn't know necessarily, if they did it to a Kennedy, they didn't know that a lobotomy wasn't the best thing for.
No,
well, I
good
guess it
pull,
wasn't
by
a
the way.
lobotomy, but shock therapy or whatever.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
this is a pre-One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest kind of time frame
Right.
for us.
Sure.
Now she does wind up becoming
Could have been a butter knife,
the old ice pick one was always the creepiest for. My boy was being a boy recently, so we had an ice pick jammed in his eye by a doctor who swore everyone else was doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, it's
Crazy. Science.
as we're. I promise we are wrapping here, folks, because I know Harrington has to get the hell out of here. The Romanovs are murdered, so that fairy tale does not come true here. Anastasia will not be returning to the throne over there on that one. Russia has some of the wildest history I've ever seen over here. There were fairy tales that she escaped, but the Bolshevik government wouldn't confirm her death, and they wouldn't even acknowledge her burial plot because they didn't want to fuel the rumors. But when you do that, you're just fueling the rumors because now they're like, oh, they won't actually confirm or deny. There's a middle ground here. So to recap, Harrington, if you can hit a couple of those photos on your way out, buddy. I got the Fallen Emerald City, looks like the scary Winter Palace. I've got a bearded conqueror. Yep, there. To me, it was on the nose, I thought.
Yeah.
Ozma's palace. I'm sorry, Mombi's palace looks like the Winter Palace in St. Petersburg, which I got to see in my life. I really do. And then you also have this weird bearded fella over here. that's going to wind up being the person who takes everything back. That's your Gnome King.
Right.
You want to say that that's Rasputin and he was part of the fall. It was an inside job. You want to say that that's Karl Marx's ideas and he took everything back to the earth with him because it all belongs to everybody because property is evil. You can kind of go a couple of different ways on this one.
I think we got there. Yeah, right.
But Harrington, if you got a bounce, buddy, I know you got something else to do. So that's it for the visuals on that one. I'm just going to have, I want to set it up. We'll close this one up.
Thanks.
Oh, guys, you're doing plugs here in a second. You can either blame this entire theory on my Navy days of me drinking and watching way too much wrestling in the 90s. But this is my actual theory that 1985's Return to Oz is eerily similar to the Russian Revolution. If you don't agree with my theory, we can all agree on this one. Every man's dream is kind of meeting Vicky Valancourt. I do think that's at least part of it.
Amen, brother.
But I got a couple of things coming up over here. Guys, thank you for coming out to my dojo show at Morse Plains. We had a fantastic time. Conspiracy Gump was on stage, Harrington. We brought him out, buddy. So massive hit on that one. And then also, Harrington's got something for us. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's working too hard, folks. Again, the show is American Loser. We are every Thursday. If you're on Gas Digital, you get the episode an entire week beforehand. And then on, I believe it's every Thursday now, we're coming out. We're going to compete head-to-head with Thursday Night Football. That is my goal. I do believe weird history stories from a fat former plumber from New Jersey can go head-to-head with the NFL, and I'm going to do it.
Can you do picture-in-picture?
Picture-in-picture?
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, like the Manning
Multi-view.
Brothers podcast, but it's just me in the corner talking about
Yeah, it's
Rasputin's
you,
dick.
and it's football. That's lovely.
I got Nick's Comedy Stop in Boston coming up October 11th and 12th, and then this weekend I am in Watertown, New York, which I agreed to when I heard New York. Didn't realize the closest major city is Ottawa. Anyway, I'm in for a long drive on that one, folks.
Shit.
But we're figuring stuff out. Harrington, you're a damn saint. You know that. Guys, first of all, I love both of you very much. You're both very
Love
funny.
you.
Great conversations always. Where can people follow you that you're comfortable with, Lauren?
You can follow me on Instagram at Lauren Des Leroux, LaurendesLeroux. Comedy Dojo, October 24th,
Nice.
I guess. Yeah, October 24th. It's going to be really fun. I'm playing a small boy. I'm doing the set as a little boy.
We're going to be on that same show, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a Halloween-themed show.
Where are you going to be?
I ain't giving shit away.
Really? Okay, well, you can't be Miss Rachel because I also might be Miss Rachel. So
I'm going to show. Well, we actually probably get Boris on this show as well, too. But
Ooh,
we're
that'd
going to
be
have fun on
fun.
that one.
Yeah,
It'll be
I
good to
can't
hang
wait.
with you. Dojo
and thanks for
Comedy.
having me. And you're the best. And this
Shut
is
up,
great.
you're
Nice meeting you,
wonderful.
Boris.
Likewise.
Boris, where can people follow you, my man? You're honest to God. I'm not blowing any smoke up your ass. I think you're one of the most underrated comics in the entire city. And I think it's stupid that you're not working way more often in this city.
That's very sweet of
That
you.
being said, let people learn where they can go find you so they can come to the same conclusion I do.
You could go to @TheBorisK on all the socials. And October 4th weekend, I'll be at the new Northeast Pennsylvania Comedy Festival. October 4th, I'll be there, but that whole weekend, people should check out shows if they're in the Poconos area.
Hell yeah, man.
Sweet.
That one's awesome. Jorge, I just want to say thank you for
Thanks,
just,
Jorge.
just sticking through it, man. All right. Appreciate you as always, brother. We're going to get you out of here. Again, please follow Lauren. Please follow Boris. My theory, if it upsets you guys, send us the hate mail because the comments, it's good for the algorithm
Me
or something.
first.
I don't know what's happening there. And again, it's @KPBurkSucks is my Instagram. We try to put out new reels every single week. We're in the middle of a big project right now. It's our first time putting out 3 reels all about one topic, so we have to release them all 3 at the same time. But if you're a fan of the show, you guys are going to dig what we're doing here. We'll see what other celebrities I can get to follow us slowly but surely. Hilaria Watch is still intact, by the way, folks. She's still following me. I don't know why. I don't know what I did. I
That's
think
awesome.
so we're giving her more Oz content. So shout out Hilaria. That was Return to Oz, American Loser.
On the edge they take the throne, built on bones of those unknown. Counted first, never last.